This is a very special episode. It is Japan focused. It is enterprise AI focused. It is about exploring what's really happening at the frontier, up and central to the whole AI transformation, but all in Japan. We will be talking to Daichi-san, who clearly has been driving one of the most profound initiatives in the enterprise AI world through SoftBank and OpenAI's joint venture called SB OAI. What we will be exploring are multiple themes, all the way from what has been Japan's heritage and its impact in the enterprise AI world. Where exactly are we finding the talent that doesn't exist today? And of course, a little bit about the partnership between Prodapt and SoftBank OpenAI. So first of all, Daichi-san, welcome.
Thank you, Manish. I'm very excited to be here.
With your permission, shall we dive in?
Sure, please.
Well, the very first question I have is indeed about Japan. Through your leadership, what is emerging as arguably one of the world's largest AI laboratory? What's driving this big, important change?
So there is a narrative in Japan. We basically say that we lost the last 30 years. The one time Japan was number one and Japanese economy was very strong. And then bubble burst and we had all those turmoil economically. That we have those bad vicious spiral kept going 30 years, 35 years. We really need to have something we can transform ourselves. This AI would be the element for us to change the whole industry or the Japanese economy and make us once again as a leader of the economical the world. So that's a narrative, and based on that expectation, a lot of big enterprise, they are thriving their best to transform themselves. Yet we are not there yet, and we are behind United States for sure. But mindset, mentality-wise, this is the agreement across the board. We really need to take this opportunity and ride this tide. Otherwise, we are going to continuously missing this board for next 30, 40 years. So,
of course, I would put what is happening in AI really in two buckets. One you would call as the cosmetic bucket, where you are trying to do a touch and feel. Many people are busy with the chatbots, the demos, the dashboards version of AI. And the real AI at the enterprise level is that touches the core of an enterprise. What version are you driving?
I think both are equally important, right? Because unless you touch it, you never know the power of AI. And that's the entry point. And then as consumer level experience would impact enterprise experience too. So as an individual user, if you don't have any opportunity to expose yourself for ChatGPT or whatever, you never know what AI can do. It's all hypothesis, right?
Sure.
But you touch and feel, that's important. But the reality is all those cosmetic may not change or transform the entire corporation. It doesn't make AI native. So core is equally important. But the core, still, people don't know where to start. And now, since last 1 month, 2 months, there's a lot of discussion about the cyber attack and frontier AI security. Probably that could be the very first area that people need to look into. That would be a part of the core AI adoption, because otherwise you won't be able to protect your company. That would be necessary. It's not nice to have. This is must have.
A lot of the organizations are now finally moving beyond what you would call the pilot phase. You touched upon cybersecurity, the whole foundation that needs to be strengthened, right? So to give the confidence, what really distinguishes companies that will make it adopting the enterprise AI world versus the companies that probably will take a little longer? What capabilities do you think are necessary for companies to become truly enterprise AI first?
Reality is, out of maybe 100 company, only one or two, not only CEO, CXO level, they really want to adopt AI, but also IT manager or like any manager level, they are all convinced and follow that order. That's very rare. a roundtable with all CXOs, they all agree, yes, this is something we need to adopt as soon as possible. We really need to transform ourselves to the AI native. It should happen even yesterday, right? That's the agreement with all those CXOs. But the day-to-day level, there is a lot of resistance. Only 1 or 2 out of 100 could be the real AI native company if we didn't have this security threat. AI adoption is not really optional. It's must. Unless you react right now, you're going to be attacked. You're going to be damaged, right? The rest of 98%, they are facing the necessity of adoption. This timing is the very narrow window of adoption of AI because otherwise you're going to get damaged.
And in that case, there will be a lot of partnerships that will be needed, particularly at an engineering level, because we're talking some complex systems, complex processes, complex tools, a lot of legacy, vulnerabilities. And to be able to attack all of these at the same time, I think partnership and building an ecosystem. How are you going about doing it?
Clearly, we need a partnership. I mean, nobody, one single entity can cover all those massive, complicated IT system, including network. So we really need to help the multiple people, multiple entity, multiple partner to cover this entire area. I'm actively meeting those people right now and trying to come up with the actual partnership right now.
I know a little bit about the kind of timetable and schedule you keep. So I know how busy you are with that. And that's why it is even more important that you're doing this with us. Since we are shooting this in the Bay Area, right here, the whole narrative around the future workforce gets discussed. This, I think, is the linchpin to any success. Talent is where we're talking about the whole pipeline of opportunities that will get created. And we're talking about a workforce and a talent pool that doesn't exist at this point in time. How do you think about this challenge?
It's a chicken and egg. I'm talking about particularly in Japan. So AI adoption is still not high enough. Then talent needs is not high enough either. Now, only limited company who realizes that this, for example, FDEs particularly, those talent are needed for us to encourage enterprise to adopt AI. But there's no enough talents in Japan, right? So it's a chicken and egg. That's how I see. One of the major reasons why I wanted to have the partnership with the Prodapt, because Prodapt is not a Japanese company, although it has a root, some sort of footprint in Japan, yet massive resources are in India and US. I kind of wanted to take advantage out of it. It's a maybe phased approach.
Yeah.
Right now, we need to get the help from outside of Japan, but eventually, for us to scale this business model, I really need to come up with the talent.
Thank you for the partnership, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We have a view of fast forward 2030, let's say 4 or 5 years from now.
Yeah.
What will be the future workforce look like in the AI world? Do you have a vision on that?
Some people say that FDE may not be needed going forward because everything is going to be agentified and then AI will do all those jobs, right? It may be true for next 20 years later, but next 5-10 years, because adoption, there's a gradation of the adoption. So early adopter may finish all the work in a year or two, right? And completely automated. But think about it, that this legacy system like a mainframe, like AS400, whatever, they keep using 35 years, right? They know it needs to be modernized for many reasons, but they didn't do it, right? Because there is not really threat and necessity. So it would take time for any big enterprise to transform themselves unless there is the definitive necessity, right? So although we talked about the cybersecurity a little bit, there's a need, but still it would take many years for them to transform 100%. So it would take minimum next 5 years, maybe 10 years, even longer.
Sure.
So while they are making that efforts, still human needs to support. And that's FDE. So I really think that those talents are even needed even more in 5 years from now, I guess.
Of course. I actually completely agree with you. That is how it will evolve. There is no push of a button and suddenly a magic will happen.
That's not going to happen.
A lot of hard work is pending. Before we talk about the partnership, like millions of other people So my very first electronic product was a Japanese product. My very first automotive product was a Japanese product.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your patronage.
When I started my career, Daichi-san, I remember working on a Japanese machinery. Japan's ability to build world-class scaled products and technology products is legendary, second to none. Do you think this is a inflection point where Japan could become, with the experiments you are making at scale, could become the path to AI domination across the world?
I guess, as I said earlier, that the very first question, that there is a narrative and a common understanding in all Japanese, not only manufacturing, but everybody, agreement that we really need to take this opportunity and then change the way we do business. And that way we can get back to where we are. And especially manufacturing, that still today that we are in very unique position, and that's our strength. And with not only just AI at the office, but physical AI, that's another next frontier. And how we can adopt that technology as quick as possible and take advantage out of it. That's a really common the question for all those like CEOs. So still we don't see the concrete results yet, obviously, but very strong appetite for that. So I'm hoping that not only this frontier AI like LLM that would change how you work in office, but also how we manufacture the stuff. That would be changed by this AI. That's something I'm hoping, and then I'm kind of confident that that's going to happen.
I'm hoping that as young students and engineers listening to this, watching this in Japan, if they listen to you, they get inspired and think about investing their time and energy in thinking about this area, because this could be the potential path to global leadership. I'd like to now come to the partnership.
Okay.
And you alluded to that earlier. SoftBank, OpenAI, and Prodapt have come together to create this world-class FDE engine for Japan. It's clearly and you are the visionary behind it. It was your idea at one of these small meetings that we had that created a very interesting model, but for one of the most demanding situations. The kind of steps collectively your team and our teams have taken. I just have two questions on this. One is, what's your vision for this partnership, where we stand today with whatever we have accomplished so far? And two, of course, is what are the fundamental shifts or outcomes that you believe this FDE model that we have created, this should deliver for the Japanese enterprise market?
First of all, the vision, as I said, like I really believe that the next 5 years, maybe even 10 years, still human needs to drive this transformation. And the core of those talent will be those FDEs or those engineers. And then again, we have less talent, small talent pool in Japan. I really believe that this is the model for not only us, but any Japanese company to follow, right? Because they really need to find out the talent from outside and then cultivate in Japan and then build the foundation. If we are the frontier for that, I'm grateful. And so but we are the first one to try doing it, and really specifically for FDE area. I hope that this can be some model going forward and for other Japanese company too. That's one. And then the second question, you make a decision quickly and then you move fast, but SoftBank moves fast too. Very, very fast.
Yes.
And then the reason why I decided to have a partnership with you guys is that I had a confidence that maybe you can support our speed, right? So we needed to deploy this many people as quick as possible and a short time. So quality of the service you're providing and the speed, which I needed, and you satisfy those needs. I am very much satisfied at what you've done.
Daichi-san, thank you for those words, but I must tell you, you move, SoftBank and you particularly move very, very fast. I'm assuming there is a robot inside that does
No. By the way, still my boss and founder said I'm too slow. I am complained every day.
The title of this podcast is Alt Shift. We are indeed living, technologically speaking, at very alternate times. While there have been inflection points in the last 20 years, 30 years, but nothing like this one with AI. You're clearly at the forefront in Japan and with this whole new venture. I want to maybe ask one final question on the shift. And by shift, I mean changing times need changing style of leadership. Very recently, I also had a group of leaders in Dallas where we spoke about leadership through discontinuous times, because these are very, very difficult times, particularly at a human engineering level. It needs a very different type of leadership. What have you shifted about your own style of leadership in the last few years since you've taken charge of some of these most interesting initiatives at part of SoftBank that you did not do in the past?
I think this is directly to do with my interaction with my big boss, and he is giving us the North Star. But the North Star it's something from my point of view, it's too far away and then too big to comprehend. I have no clue how we can get there, right? Every time, whatever the task I got, from him, I realize that all those dots and you connect, it's getting through. That's the path towards that North Star. And I figured it out. Yet always I have back in my mind, the where this gonna lead to, right? So constant reminder, North Star in my head, right? And that would happen, I don't know, 10 years from now, or 20 years from now, or 30 years from now. Typical CEOs of the big enterprise, the tenure of the position would be maybe 5-6 years average. Some people 10 years, but some people can shorter. But anyway, 5-6 years, right?
Yeah.
And if you think about your best performance in just 5-6 years, probably you may not want to take any risk to shift.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a big risk.
Yeah.
And if you can do some gradual shift, right? It's not immediate shift or something looks like shift.
Yeah.
Right? From the outside point of view or investor's point of view, maybe that's good enough for them. But if you really would like to fundamentally shift the company, you take the risk. But at least you have some big North Star.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
And then I don't think every single CEO can take that risk.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky because although this is a public company, yet still kind of, we have the founder still in power and acting like venture still. There's some venture mindset. So I learned that from him. And that thinking, like long-term view, North Star, big crazy idea. But that's actually giving me, the direction and what I should prioritize and what the risk I should take. So probably those are needed. I don't know how every CEO can have that type of North Star, but that's, at least for me, that's the change, big shift.
Fascinating. Very, very fascinating. I mean, you clearly are probably world's largest startup across the world, right? I think it's amazing. The one thing that keeps me very upbeat is that one gets to sit down with people like you, leaders like you, learn from you, this warmth that you bring. Thankfully, businesses are always going to be about people. I am particularly excited about that part, that come what may, technology or no technology, it is human to human where transactions will happen and businesses will happen. So for that, I just want to say thank you. It means a lot to my audience. It means a lot to Prodapt as a company. It means a lot to all our partners. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much.
Appreciate
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.